Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is the 20th of February. It is a Friday. Here's what we're looking at for today. So we have a sun sign in Pisces, a moon sign, which is making a transition today, going from Pisces to Aries. This transition occurs later this afternoon at 5:13 p.m. Void of course moon begins just a little after noon, and the void of course moon is, of course, as you know, is when we've come to the last phases of that Pisces. The moon's traveling through and getting ready to go into Aries. Haven't quite gone into the year yet, so it's called the void of course, as we're kind of like a holding pattern, so to speak. The subconscious mind is maybe considering what was learned during the previous cycle. So in this case, Pisces. Okay, we have number of aspects that are very important today. We have the first aspect that we see here. 2:05 p.m. Venus moves into Aries. Now this is significant. Let me show you over here. Here's a wheel showing all the different aspects that are taking place. Here we have Pisces, and we have a whole bunch of signs over here in Pisces. Okay, Pisces is a water sign. Pisces in water deals with emotions, deals with walking a path and not getting caught one way or the other emotionally, trying to stay the middle pillar, middle path. And so we have all these signs: the sun, we have Neptune, the moon, Venus, and Aries. And Venus is just coming out now from here into this afternoon. It will be moving into Aries. When it moves into Aries, Venus is about imagination. Aries is a pioneer. Aries is the beginning of things. So it could be the beginning of our imagination, beginning of a new opportunity. One thing we have to consider is that Aries is also a warrior and can be very warlike due to what's going on. Here we have Mars in Aries. Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. Mars is the planet that can be aggression or passion. So with all of these things combined, Mars in Aries and Venus moving into Aries, we have opportunities to begin something new. But with that, we have to pay attention to the aggressiveness that is involved with all parties involved in what's going on, because we don't want energy to divert us off course. We want to stay on course. And so we want to make sure that we're not allowing that Piscean influence of emotions to push us off, because that can certainly come into play, and that's no fun, and it makes things a little bit more difficult than they need to be. So we want to watch out for the emotions that are at play. We want to understand that we're moving from emotions to ideas, to a fire sign. So we're going from this water into fire, and fire would be ideas, creativity. There's a lot of creativity, but we're still dealing with some of these emotions because the sun sign is in Pisces and the moon sign is also, well, coming out of Pisces. So we're dealing with a lot of change today that's taking place in these regards. Okay, let's look over here. So we've got the moon in Aries coming up this afternoon. So we've got Venus moving into Aries earlier at 2:05, and then at 5:13, Aries and the moon. Now tonight we've got Venus is conjunct, shortly after that actually, 5:30, Venus is conjunct the moon, as well as Mars is conjunct the moon. So we've got a little party going on right here. Okay, Venus, Aries, Mars, and the moon will all be there. So we got these three right here. Okay, so we got some things dealing, all of these things dealing with a big change going into fire. But our moon sign, our sun sign, is still in Pisces. So the way in which our outside mind wants to perceive the world is through the world of Pisces, through these emotional glasses. But we want to again make sure that what's going on unconsciously, when it gets to the point where we're dealing with this Aryan energy, that we don't become warlike, that we find a way to use our energy in a creative way as opposed to fighting, because people can have ideas and fight about the different ideas. I mean, there's a lot of ways in which we can misuse the energies that are around us, and so it's very important that we just don't, that we pay attention to what is going on. All right, over the weekend we'll be in Moon in Aries. Tomorrow we can see a lot of aspects going on there, and that would take us through what's going on today. So I think we just need to really take a look at what's going on with us, because when we're in that phase where there's all these emotions can take us any different way. That's why the Pisces is two fish. You got one fish swimming one way, one the other. The Pisces, and you probably know people who are Piscean in your life, that seems to be part of their operating method, that they live in an emotional world, and in that emotional realm they are easily swayed one way or the other. And when you push their buttons in the wrong way, it brings up a lot of emotions that aren't necessary and actually misunderstood. And the Aryan energy that we're moving into, this is a leadership energy. It's the beginning of things. But with all things, when leadership is involved, we don't want to become corrupt and overpowerful, power hungry. We want to be a fair leader. And so this is implied as well. So we want to make sure we're not allowing the emotions that are going on from Pisces to get into effect what's going on with us with the Aries energy. So there's a whole mix of these energies here going on as each and every day, and just ways to look at it. And you might have other ways to look at it. I'd say look at the keywords. Look at the keywords associated with each one of the particular signs and the planets. And as you do and you can apply them, you can understand different ways. And as you meditate on it, you'll learn more and understand more. Over on the Jewish calendar, we're at the first day of a new month. It's the month of Adar, A-D-A-R. It's 1 Adar, same year, 5775. The daily thought is examine, investigate, question. You must, because otherwise you will learn nothing. But when it comes to getting the job done, do it with 100% confidence that it is the right thing to do. To get something done, you need conviction and faith. A fruitful life will not sprout out of ever-shifting sands, and its home cannot be built on a foundation of doubts. Okay. Current moon phase is a little sliver, 4% of the way full. We're making our way back up. How do we know? Because it's a waxing moon. Waxing going up, waning going down. Solar wind, 363.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index. It's quiet at the moment. We're in the 2 range. It should be there over the next 24 to 48 hours. Coronal holes somewhat subsided, but still we have a notification that we will have some effect from the solar wind coming off of these over the weekend. M-class layer possibility as well as X are both down at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity in the mid-latitudes is very low, between 1 and 5, and 15% in the high latitudes. And if we look at the sky tonight, we've got the moon, little smile, and right next to the moon, just to the left of it, Venus and Mars. Remember I said they were going to be conjunct? Well, this is what conjunction is, when they're right next to each other like this. Okay, so we've got these three going on. Imagination. Mars is passion. And the moon is the subconscious. So unconsciously, we're dealing with these two ideas of Venus and Mars. Are they going to work together? Is the imagination going to have passion to it? Or is the imagination going to bring up some sort of anger? Which way is it going to go? That's the big trick. All right? So that's what you're looking at today. So that's what this is all about. The cosmic weather. Now, the cosmic weather, just again, I get questions. Well, what's the importance of all of this stuff that I give? Why do I tell this information? What is the space weather information about? How does that help me? Well, it helps because you understand the energy that's moving around you. People have experiences all the time. I talk to folks, and probably you do as well, that experience different ways of energy around them, different types of energy, and sometimes moving faster or slower, how they're affected by it, and they want to know what is the cause. And when we look, we think of the idea, the cause and the effect. We are affected by the cause of what is going on around us, the cause of the energy around us. And so we want to be aware of that. And so by looking at these things, by seeing what's going on with the cosmos and the solar energy around us, by looking at the energies of the astrology, we begin to understand a little bit more of what this energy is so that we can make it more useful in our lives. So that is the purpose of why cosmic weather, why we need to understand what energy we're working in. It's far more important than any of the news and political stuff and any of that, because that's just all humankind. That's what humans doing down on here on the earth. But it's not what's going on in the cosmos. The cosmos has its own agenda, its own order of things that has been going on for a long time. And so we want to make sure we have our focus where it needs to be as opposed where it shouldn't. All right, UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. So the first sighting we have here takes us to the International Space Station, or some sort of satellite, some image here, and then just got in the distance here. Little objective. It's 1 minute, 8-second video. This was captured by StreetCap 1. And what we see is an object out here in the distance. Okay. So the question, what is that? Don't know, but there it is. Next, the International UFO Congress has been going on this week. It started on Wednesday. The convention kicked off on Wednesday at the Wikopa Resort and Convention Center in Yawapi Nation, located in Scottsdale area. This year marks the 24th annual incarnation of the particular convention and runs until Sunday. So if you're looking for something to do and you're out in the Scottsdale area over this weekend, might be fun to go check it out. All right. Next story here has to do with Rendlesham Forest. Stories behind Britain's Roswell, Rendlesham UFO Forest. The Rendlesham Forest incident has been dubbed as Britain's Roswell, which involved a series of strange sightings in December of 1980. The event continues to fascinate the UFO and the conspiracy worlds. Its popularity is not surprising because many witnesses saw clear lights in the sky and not some vague lights that are common today. Former Ministry of Defense employee Nick Pope believes the UFO indeed landed. The security commander at that time, Sergeant Adrian Bustina, said that he saw the UFO going in and out through the trees and hovering at one stage. In an audio recording, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt can be heard saying that they're looking at this thing from 200 to 300 yards away. He compared the thing to an eye winking and a flash as dazzling to the starscope that it nearly burns their eyes. Just last January, a dog walker posted a video showing unidentified lights above Rendlesham, and a new film about it recently been released. But what actually took place, and are we any close to the mystery after 35 years? Okay. You see it's a long story here. It's been debated for a long time what really happened there. Check it out. All right, here's a story. It says Project CE, Connecting Evidence. Collect UFO evidence with your computer. So how much attention do you pay to what's going on in the skies around you? Until now, all of our video recordings of UFOs were captured because of luck. Someone looked at the sky, saw something unusual, and just happened to have a camera and managed to capture the object in time before it disappeared. The results of that movement is very often shaky and unclear video of the event. I believe that we can have a much higher number of good footage if we change the way we've been looking for UFOs. The UFO detector program allows anyone to monitor the skies day and night for possible UFOs. All you need is a USB webcam with a decent video quality. Having more footage will allow us to try to find the answer to questions like, where do UFOs appear the most? How do they move? What do they look like? What can we learn from observing them? Okay, the project goal is to detect candidate objects, detection algorithm that looks for light-emitting objects which cannot be identified, to record detected objects, lossless video recording the highest possible. Okay, here's a kind of what's going on there. We're going to skip that. There's links available. You can read that. Tom Delonge of Blink 182 says his phone was tapped and he feared for his safety. Tom Delonge introduced himself to the world by streaking his way through Blink 182's videos for What's My Age Again, and has ever since leveraged the multi-platinum success of the pop-punk group to becoming a clothing magnet with his companies Macbeth Wear and Atticus. Social media entrepreneur. His network Mod Life has been used by Pearl Jam, Kanye West, and children's author of The Lonely Astronaut and Christmas Eve. But before any of this happened, he was a dedicated believer that life exists on other planets and other worlds. Various governments have worked in secret to keep this information from the general populace. He's become a self-styled academic on the subject and launched a website, Strange Times, dedicated to exploring the truth of what he calls the phenomena. He spent more than 2 decades getting laughed at by his theories, but with both NASA and the Vatican allowing that humanity might soon find evidence of extraterrestrial life, Delonge is finally feeling vindicated these days. A few weeks before he publicly clashed with other members of Blink-82 about his commitment to the band, we called him at his office. We heard about mind control, a camping trip to Area 51, and how to look beyond popular conspiracy theories to the third story. So when you first start to believe in the existence of aliens, how did this all start? Well, what's funny, 2 decades ago when I got into this, it was such the world is flat scenario, and here's Tom running around UFOs and they just laugh it off. But now NASA is holding symposiums on the inevitability of finding life in the universe. The Vatican is talking about it. Yes, life is out there, and how it transfers, it doesn't interfere with the church's view of existence. All right, you can see it's a long interview. I'm not going to go through it. Just wanted to introduce to you and show you that there are those out there who believe that are in places quite public. And one last story here for today. Perfectly symmetrical weather spirals baffle meteorologists and scientists in Australia. So is this a UFO of sorts, or is this one of these harp rings? You've heard the term harp ring. It's one of these energetic patterns that seems to occur in the weather patterns, and where these things seem to occur, some crazy anomalous weather that takes place. Now, is that what that is? Don't know. Looking at this and the way it's out there, it's kind of hard to tell. Could be a UFO. Okay. Anyway, there you have it. That's our UFO news for today. A lot of good sightings. Again, every single day we have new sightings. You know, it's strange if we look back, what our ancestors knew about extraterrestrials compared to what we knew is probably night and day. There was a whole different understanding about things than what we have, and it makes you wonder how we got to the point where we forgot so much, where we lost sight of what it is that we once knew. And it's very bizarre. Just think where we'd be if we didn't keep the secrets that we kept, if we would be more open and honest with what we saw. But for various reasons, political and so on, we've kept ourselves quiet about what we saw because we think others might think we're crazy. Well, we have to move past that. We're all a little bit crazy. We all do things that are bizarre and nuts and, completely insane. So why not throw out the ideas of things that might seem insane because it's just part of the nature of who we are. And as we explore some of these subjects, we find out they're not so insane. They're actually very sane indeed. And it's kind of a bummer that we've moved from looking and exploring these things to where we are now, where we're have a part of society afraid to look at them and then demonizes and criticizes those who do. Very bizarre world we live in. Sometimes it seems backwards, but this is the world we're at, so we need to deal with it accordingly. All right, that is our UFO news. I'll be right back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. Before I continue with the Nag Hammadi text, I have another video I want to present to you so you can check this out over the weekend. Yesterday I told you about this video about the Flat Earth documentary, about the Flat Earth conspiracy. I told you this was my moment of just going over the deep end. I had some conversations with others about this the other day. I certainly caught some grief about it because it is a topic that people have shut the door on in many ways, saying, oh no, this is impossible. Well, why not? When one really looks at the evidence that is presented, one finds that there is a great deal of evidence that exists showing and supporting a flat earth theory. When you go through the Bible, you find that the Bible itself supports a flat earth theory with a number of descriptions that it has. When you look at what the ancient beliefs are on the world, the ancient beliefs, and I'm not talking the medieval times, I'm talking, prior to that as well, beliefs and understandings that there was something more to the design of our world than what we know. And it's only in recent years that we have photographic imagery that we're able to say, oh look, the Earth is round, because we see these images coming to us from a place like NASA. NASA is a source of these photographs that we've been using over and over. But we also know that NASA is very dishonest with people. So if NASA, an agency who has outrightly been dishonest with people around the world for years on what they're doing, if they're dishonest about that, why would they necessarily be honest about something else like the world? Because if humans think the world is one thing, and there are those who understand the world as something else, you have an organization or a group that is able to move through life in a different understanding because they really understand how things are going on. So I don't know exactly what the reality is here. I just know that I choose to be open-minded to really look at what's going on and see how any of this matches with what is out there in the world. And so far I found that biblically the flat earth theory is supported. I find that the ancient esoteric works that are out there support this theory. When you look at diagrams of ancient esoteric philosophy and science, these theories are supported in there. It only seems to be in more modern times when we've brushed that theory aside. But maybe the brushing it aside isn't something that is needing to be brushed aside. Maybe we need to consider what's going on because maybe it will help us to understand a little bit more. I don't know the answer. All I know is it's a subject that seems to be worthy of exploration. And when one delves into it and decides to approach it without being in a place of name calling or closed-mindedness, one might find that there's some value into looking at what's going on. That being said, here's a video link I'm putting available, Ancient Flat Earth Beliefs. And this is where you can go and watch this video, and you can actually see some of the research that was done describing what the ancients believed about this flat earth theory and what it was about. I mean, it's not just about a flat earth, it's about a whole system in place. And when we go through the Bible, and the Bible tells and uses phrases like the ends of the earth or the four corners of the earth or shaking the earth so things fall off, you know, it paints pictures that are different than what our model shows. And the question is why? Of course, the Bible has been edited. We've talked about that a number of times. But there's also some things in the Bible that when you read through, there is some reality there. So what's real, what isn't? Again, I'm not quite certain. That's why I'm exploring and researching and just basically using critical thinking. Because if we don't use critical thinking, then I think we're really lost. So this video is available, Ancient Flat Earth Beliefs. If you haven't watched the other one, watch that as well. There's 2 of them up there, and see what you think. Let me know. Let me know. All right, let's continue on. We're into Nag Hammadi text. We're on the one that is called Dialogue with the Savior. Dialogue with the Savior. Here we go. This is continuing on. So now we're at this part with Mary. Mary said, "Tell me, Lord, why have I come to this place, to profit or to forfeit?" The Lord said, "You make clear the abundance of the revealer." Mary said to him, "Lord, is there a place which is something or lacking truth?" The Lord said, "The place where I am not." Mary said, "Lord, you are afraid. You are fearful and wonderful, and something to those who do not know you." Matthew said, "Why do we not rest at once?" The Lord said, "When you laid down these burdens, Matthew said, "How does the small join itself to the big?" The Lord said, "When you abandon the works which will not be able to follow you, then you will rest." Mary said, "I want to understand all things just as they are." The Lord said, "He who seek out life, for this is their wealth, for the something of this cosmos is, and its gold and its silver are misleading." His disciples said to him, "What should we do to ensure that our work will be perfect?" The Lord said to them, "Be prepared in face of everything. Blessed is the man who has found the contest of his eyes. Neither did he kill, nor was he killed, but he came forth victorious." Judas said, "Tell me, Lord, what the beginning of the path is." He said, "Love and goodness. For if one of these has existed among the governors, wickedness would never have come into existence." Matthew said, "Lord, you have spoken about the end of everything without concern." The Lord said, "You have understood all the things I have said to you, and you have accepted them on faith. If you have known them, then they are yours. If not, then they are not yours." They said to him, "What is the place to which we are going?" The Lord said, "Stand in the place you can reach." Mary said, "Everything established thus is seen." The Lord said, "I have told you that it is the one who can see who reveals." His disciples, numbering 12, asked him, "Teacher, something serenity, teach us." The Lord said that everything which I have, you will, I'm guessing he's saying everything I have, you will also have everything. Mary said, "There is but one saying, I will speak to the Lord concerning the mystery of truth. In this we have taken our stand, and to the cosmic we are transparent." Judas said to Matthew, "We want to understand the sort of garments we are able to be clothed in when we depart the decay of the flesh." The Lord said, "Governors and the administrators possess garments granted only for a time, which do not last. But you, as children of truth, Not with these transitory garments are you to clothe yourself. Rather, I say to you that you will become blessed when you strip yourselves, for it is a great thing outside. And someone said, Speak, I. The Lord said, Your father. Mary said, Of what sort of seed is the mustard seed? Is it something from heaven, or is it something from earth? The Lord said, When the Father established the cosmos for himself, he left much over from the mother of the all. Therefore he speaks and he acts. Judas said, You have told us this out of the mind of truth. When we pray, how should we pray? The Lord said, Pray in the place where there is no woman. Matthew said, Pray in the place where there is no woman. He tells us, meaning destroy the works of womanhood, not because there is any manner of birth, but because they will cease giving birth. Mary said they will never be obliterated. The Lord said, Who knows that they will not dissolve? There's a couple lines missing after that. Judas said to Matthew, the works of the womanhood would dissolve. The governors will thus would become prepared for them. The Lord said, Right, for do they see you? Do they see those who receive you? Now behold, the true word is coming forth from the Father to the abyss, in silence with a flash of lightning giving birth. Did they see it or overpower it? But you are even more aware of the path, this one before either angel authority has. Rather, it belongs to the Father and the Son, because they are both a single. And you will go via the path which you have known. Even if the governors become huge, they will not be able to reach it. But listen, I tell you that it is difficult even for me to reach it. Mary said to the Lord, When the works, something which dissolve a work. The Lord said, Right for you to know something. If I dissolve, will go to his last place. Go to his place. Judas said, How is the Spirit apparent? The Lord said, How is the sword apparent? Judas said, How is the light apparent? Jesus said, Something is in it forever. Judas said, Who forgives the works of whom? The works which someone of the cosmos, something who forgives works. The Lord said, Who? It behooves whoever has understood the works to do the will of the Father. And as for you, strive to rid yourselves of anger and jealousy, and strip yourselves of your fears, I'm guessing. And to not, and then there's a number of lines, 18 lines, indecipherable. It goes on to finish up saying, He will live forever. And I say to you, so that you will not lead your spirits and your souls into error. All right. So this one's a little bit more cryptic than the others simply because of the amount of words that are missing, but we get the idea, right? It's telling the same story. But one of the things that certainly stands out to me that Jesus says over and over and over and over again is, Seek and you shall find. So why is Jesus continually telling others to seek? You know the game hide and seek? We all played it when we were younger. Kids still play it today. Hide and seek. That means someone hides and then others seeks them. So when you say to seek something, you're implying that you want someone to look for something that is hidden. The things that are in plain sight aren't necessarily the things that we need to see and be aware of. We look around the physical world, we have all of these things in plain sight. Yet we can be deceived by what we see. And the more technology becomes advanced, the more we're able to create illusions and things that we might see. So we need to look past the illusions. We need to seek to find the hidden truths. And that is what is said over and over and over again. One might read through this and one might think that Jesus is speaking directly that we need to walk away and turn our backs on women. But that's not what he's saying here. He's not saying that at all. He's talking about how humankind, how the spirit is born into the flesh. And when we are born through a woman. That's just biology, just how it works. We're born through a woman into this world. But the idea is that this physical world is not the be-all and end-all of everything. So if we limit our experience to all that comes after we are born of woman, then we miss the greater experience. So we have to learn to rise above that understanding of the physical world to see what more is beyond it. And when we do, when we seek, we find that there is much more beyond it. And we find that the feminine aspect of life, the female, the mother, is to be revered, not to be put aside, not to be dismayed or pushed away. So if one was to take these words and take them literally, but then put that in context against understanding who the divine feminine spirit is, one sees these, might think that these don't match, that they're saying opposite things, but they're pretty much saying the same. We need to honor the spirit of light and not get so caught up in this physical realm that we're in, that we were born into, because we are more than that. We are spiritual beings, and we're simply having a human experience. And if we think the human experience is all that there is, then we are truly missing the point of what this is all about. But for some, maybe that's all that we can handle. Maybe some can only handle the physical world and don't want to know anymore, for whatever reason. Everyone's here for their own particular purposes. We can't be judging. If we think of Earth as a school, then we see that there's an opportunity for all of us to learn something each and every day. And so that is kind of what seems to come out of all of these readings here. You can't just take them at face value. You have to look deeper. And remember, seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be opened. Ask and ye shall receive. Those with ears, let them hear. Those with eyes, let them see. All of these phrases and statements that were made by Jesus, all are statements that imply that what we are looking for is not in front of our eyes, but we have to seek it out because it is hidden. We have to ask for it because it is not right in front of us. We need to knock and open the door to find where it is located. We need to use our ears to really hear what is going on. We need to use our eyes to see past the illusions, to see what's real. That's the whole gist of all of these readings. So we can continue to go through a world and we can pick up the Old Testament and we could read through it and think that this is exactly the way it is. Or we could understand that as we read some of the books that are hidden because we've sought them out, we could find that these books kind of contradict some of the stories of the Old Testament and reveal to us that the God of the Old Testament is the same one that we are taught to believe as the devil. That same character. Isn't that quite the trick? That we're told that there's a devil, that we're told all about the things the devil does, and yet that character is the same one who created humankind or manipulated humankind, whatever it might be. So that's quite the trick, because in this essence, both what we know of as God and devil are one and the same. And in both instances, neither one of them is the true mother or father. They are simply beings along the way who claimed themselves to be gods. And in the case of Yaldabaoth, which is the same being that I'm talking about, Yaldabaoth declared himself to be a god. Decided to rebel against the father once he found out that the father existed. And when the father expressed and Yaldabaoth understood that there was a offspring of the father and the mother, Yaldabaoth wanted to capture that, enslave that. That's what we're looking at. So we could choose to be enslaved. We can choose to follow along with the stories that tell us what's in the physical world, or we could seek to know a little bit more. And so all of these kind of go in hand. I bring up the flat earth theory because I think it ties in with all of this. As I said, go through the Bible and you'll find that the Bible supports the idea that the earth is not round, that it is flat. It uses the term circle sometimes, but a circle is not a sphere. A circle is a circle. There are those who say Atlantis, that earth, or another name for earth, is Atlantis. And when we think about the Atlantis, the way it was described was a series of concentric circles within circles. When we look at the cosmos and we see how things operate as in circles within circles within circles within circles. Circles, not spheres, circles. So we're also told that in this model that everything is stationary. And as we've heard through a number of these texts and things that Jesus says, but even in this one here, he says the earth does not move. Well, it goes contrary to what we're told, that the Earth is spinning at 1,067 miles an hour or whatever it is. It's different. An Earth moving around at over 1,000 miles an hour versus an Earth that is stationary, that's two different things. So which one is it? I'm going to go and consider that what Jesus is saying has a lot of weight, and I'm going to seek to find out what's going on there, because the history of NASA, never a straight answer, is just a history that has told us one lie after the other. Something that I don't want to put all of my belief into that. Why would I want to? Because they're not being honest with others. They're not being honest with the whole world. And on, religions and the whole thing. So if we take what is being told to us that's dishonest, which is a lot of what religion is telling, a lot of what governments are telling, a lot about what science is telling, and we take that and we realize they're all being dishonest, and we look at what they're saying to us, perhaps we have to push that aside and seek deeper to find out what the real truths are. Because if the truths aren't what they're telling us, then there's something else. And these something else are the alternative theories that are out there about what is the nature of our cosmos. Where did we come from? How did we get here? What is our world like? And we start to put all the pieces together and see that there's something more than meets the eye. Again, seek and we will find. That is the whole gist of everything. All right, here's an article over at In5D. This last week, I've been bringing up articles about angels and guides and contacting them. So this one here fits in with that whole theme. Do I have angels or entities around me? This is by Max and Lana. Numerous studies using frequency, hydrotherapy, psychic gifts, and the gift of discernment are demonstrating that angels, aliens, or entities are constantly around certain people and frequently step in to help the rest of us as well, in order to preserve a timeline, energy, or larger picture. Many of us in the metaphysical field believe that each human is capable, important, and an integral part of our energetic universe. Apparently, the entities agree and are here to help. With that said, evidence suggests that certain people, regardless of their social status, education, interest, ethnicity, or even spiritual development, do have entities around them nonstop. Ironically, it's often the individuals who suffer terribly in this human life, and the ones who frequently wonder why their lives are so difficult and why they feel so different or lonely in this world. So if you've been noticing strange things and wondering whether you have someone or something around you all of the time, here are a list of attributes that are common to people who have been shown to have entities around them at all times. Right here we have a list of 22 different characteristics. Let me breeze through this list here. 1, you've survived one or more accidents, incidents, or illnesses that technically should have killed you. And you may have even killed others involved, and may have even killed others involved. 2, although you likely go through some extremely difficult, hurtful, and or trying times, you come out better than anyone would expect, smelling like a rose. 3, you constantly feel as though you're being watched or are not alone, even though you often feel lonely. 4, cats, dogs, and small children are drawn to you, but seem to fixate their gazes just behind you or over your shoulders, though nothing appears to be there to the naked eye. 5, you often see apparitions, distinct shadow balls or blips of light, or even figures in your perceptual vision. 6, sometimes you wake up from a sound sleep to find something that appears or tries to communicate with you. 7, you have vivid dreams, visions, or astral travel, which often involve star systems and night skies that you don't resemble our Earth. 8, you have a deep knowing about the various aspects of your energetic universe, even if you haven't studied them or haven't read extensively. 9, you are extremely empathic, possibly with heightened intuition or healing gifts as a result of your genetics and the bloodline that you have passed down through many generations of healers, shamans, etc. 10, you love your family of origin but never felt completely connected, truly related, or that your relatives get you. 11, your days are filled with uncanny signs, synchronicities, and connections, especially when you telepathically ask them from yourself or from the universe. 12, despite the fact that you enjoyed your solitude and can be quite mysterious, people flock to you for advice and innate wisdom that just seems to flow naturally from you. 13, your child exhibits attributes of an indigo or a crystal. 14. You hear buzzing in your ears, also known as the downloading of necessary information and DNA upgrading, meant to prepare you for the times ahead. 15. Mysterious cuts or marks appear in your body. 16. The body heals fast and or differently than other people do. 17. You feel the earth is not your home and that you are an older soul. 18. You have found that true twin flame connection and are numerous soulmates whom you know from other times and incarnations. 19. You consciously or unconsciously remember times in life when an entity visited you in the comforting form of a deceased loved one, a religious figure, or other pleasant being. 20. You have extreme highs and lows in your moods and experiences with almost no middle ground. You have experienced more in your years than most humans do. 21. Your trials, tribulations, and or loneliness seems to have occurred so that you can generally relate to others and effectively help other people when they experience devastation, confusion, or needy, especially in our uncertain world. And 22. As we head into the shift of consciousness, you feel even more connected to the energy around you and an intense desire to help humans in our planet move forward so that you may eventually return home. If many or all of the characteristics listed above apply to you, then you are likely surrounded by one or more entities at all times. While they may not help you to win the big lottery, they are here to protect you and to ensure that you are here to serve your purpose. Your presence on this planet right now may not be the most comfortable for you, but your frequency, insights, and role in your family and community are crucial to helping humans evolve in the coming years. So if you don't already, we encourage you to talk to your guides, thank them, and keep asking for signs that you seek. You are not alone in what you are experiencing, and you are likely not alone forever. If you find that you and or your loved ones don't have the attributes listed above, please don't despair. We all are connected to the big part of the divine energy and equally valuable and important in the bigger picture. So you will have to help guidance, my protection. You need to fulfill your personal destiny. You have access to the energy you want at all times, and entities are there when you need them most. Miracles will continue for you, especially at pivotal times. Your life experience is likely to be rich, fulfilling, and profound in a fantastic number of ways. All right, so there you go. I'm sure we all have this feeling from time to time, and we've all experienced our guides, especially when we make the efforts to reach out and communicate with them. We've all had dreams. We've all had moments of feeling someone around us when they're not there with our physical eyes. Again, we can't rely on what it is we see. We have to look deeper. We have to seek more of what's out there in the universe. Somewhere along the lines, I think we stopped seeking, or a portion of society seemed to stop seeking, or simply was deceived because those who are controlling the illusion are showing things that are keeping people in the dark. And so we just need to keep seeking. All right, here's Mother Mary, or Mary Magdalene, excuse me, on divine protection, perfection, and wholeness.
Mary Magdalene, on divine perfection and wholeness.
Channeled by Fran Zapata, February 18, 2015.
Greetings, beloveds. I come before you today to deliver a message of love and well-being to you all. For all is well. For all is as it should be. Pull yourselves back from your expectations and thought forms of striving for life as it should be, and be now in this moment with me. All is well. All is as it should be. All is encompassed in this now moment as an inkling of more creation in the next moment. And so it goes. Pull back into the now. Pull back into the center of your being and find that all is well, all is as it should be. Stop the striving and gather your heart into the now, into the center of your being and life, and feel with it, now with me. What is it you are feeling? What is it you are noticing? The stillness beckons you. Pull back into that stillness now, beloveds, and travel with me into the deeper recesses of your heart. For now is the time to live there fully. Forget all the strivings, forget all the should-bes, and know that now is as it should be for you in this moment. And so it goes. Does it not relieve you of your suffering in this moment, to know that you have arrived where you are to be in this moment? Pull back from the regrets and the strivings and relish this moment. From here you create. From here you are full and whole. It is as it should be. It is as it always was meant to be. Your development up to this moment is perfect for you, and your development from this moment on, is perfect for you. Let go and feel it. And in that letting go comes a fullness of joy and ecstasy that you are all you can be, in this moment. For in acknowledging that, you have set the stage for further travel into your full divine essence. Relax into it now. Feel your heart cells expanding into eternity. And soften your gaze upon the world. Feel it deeply into your heart now. You are joy, you are bliss. You are grace. You are freedom. You are love. Luxuriate there now, beloveds. Take a moment now to assess. What did pulling back from your expectations and strivings do for you? Did it open your inner sight to more possibilities? Good. Excellent. You are tapping into your true essence more as you accept the enormity of it, the perfection of it, and the completeness of it. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is necessary to be strived for. You are all it is, all you ever were, as you drop the trappings of what could be and should be and never was. You are glorious in your perfection, graceful in your being, to all in the higher realms who observe you. Accept the vastness of your potential in this moment of now. Feel into it. Relax into it. Pull back into the stillness from all your strivings and doubts and fears, and arrive at this moment now like a newborn baby with no attachment to what could be or what never was. You are innocent and pure in your essence now. Feel into it. Feel into the purity of your essence. Allow the freedom that pulling back from striving will bring you. Pull back into yourself and find all you need, all you are. In this, your perception awakens to more clarity, allowing you to perceive your true self that is full of wonder and creation just as it is now. And forevermore it shall be, as long as you sit within that essence, seeing it as perfect and complete in its creation. Settle and feel into that perfection now. Allow it to dwell in stillness within you. Feel the enormity of it, feel the majesty of it. Know you are complete and whole as you are in this moment, allowing more light to illuminate what is not as yet revealed, yet not to be seen as a lacking. Accepting your perfection in this now moment is the step toward wholeness. In it is revealed all that must come to the surface to complete it. And that is both a paradox and a truth. For in your perfection breeds more life and fulfillment towards your greater destiny and purpose. Ponder this, my beloveds. And relax into the knowing that you are a perfect specimen within the realm of the Creator. Nothing can ever take that away. You are whole and complete as you are, and nothing is lacking. There is just potential to be revealed, but only in the fertile grounds of your acknowledgement of your divine perfection. Namaste. I am Mary Magdalene, always and forever in and with love.
Alright, very good, very good. Nice message from Mary Magdalene. Okay. Just another, confirmation, in Jesus's talks when he talks about, woman. He's not talking about turning our backs on women. Remember, it's more than that because Mary Magdalene was his woman. They were together. So he certainly wasn't talking about that. We have to seek deeper to understand what he's saying. All right, here's today's passage from the Warrior of the Light. I'm just moving along from one to the next. The Warrior of Light knows when an enemy is stronger than he is. If he decides to confront him, he will be destroyed instantly. If he responds to his provocations, he will fall into a trap. So he uses diplomacy to resolve the difficult situation in which he finds himself. When the enemy behaves like a baby, he does the same. When he challenges him to a fight, he pretends not to understand. His friends say he's a coward, but the warrior pays no attention. He knows that all the rage and courage of a little bird are as nothing to a cat. In such situations, the warrior remains patient. The enemy will soon go off in search of others to provoke. All right, very good. And that brings us to our meditations. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. I want you to imagine that you are walking along a beach. And as you are walking along the beach, you find a bottle that floats in from the ocean, and in the bottle is a note. And you take this note out of the bottle, and it's a map. And on the beginning and the top of the map, it just says seek. And so you look at the map very closely, and you see that it points to something that is hidden. So you follow the map. And at a point in time, the map leads you to what appears to be a dead end. And at first you think the map was inaccurate. And as you look around, you find that the map begins to reveal something that was hidden. Tells you to go inside. So you close your eyes and you go inside of yourself. You move past the boundary of what your physical eyes show you, and you see inside. And from there you are guided to a place between the rocks, between the rock walls. You find an entrance to a cave. And you follow your intuition and let it guide you along the way, and you come to a place in the cave where you see a treasure chest. And outside the treasure chest is the word knock. So you knock on the chest and it opens in order to answer the knock that you just gave. And inside the chest you see all sorts of treasures. They are not treasures of gold or silver or jewels, but something much more valuable. Treasures of the soul. And as you look at these treasures, you find that they are the treasures of faith, hope, and love. And you allow yourself to absorb these gifts into your being. So as you leave the cave, you find yourself enriched in faith, hope, and love. And as you're walking along the beach, you realize the true value of seeking. And you understand that we only seek for things which are hidden. We do not seek for the things that are in plain sight. And we recall the words of the teachers, the wise teachers upon this planet, the words of Jesus who tell us to seek. And we understand that they are encouraging us. He is encouraging us to look for that which is hidden. Now, having found the treasure chest which was hidden, we come to understand the purpose behind all of the seeking. We understand that the physical material world is a transient world that only shows us a portion of herself. We realize and remember that the fire, the water, and the air make up the earth. And that when we look beyond the earth, we see the fire, the water, and the air, and we understand the deeper aspects of what is around us. And so we continue on as we move along the path of life, seeking out those things that are hidden, using our faith, our love, and our hope. And as we seek, we know we shall find. As we ask, we know we shall receive. As we knock, we know the door will be opened. As we see with our eyes and hear with our ears, we understand more about what this thing of life is all about. that we may discern from what it is not about and know the difference. So as we go forth this weekend, let us continue to seek and imagine ourselves on a journey of seeking. Let us go forth this weekend with open minds and open hearts, that we might understand the mysteries of the world around us. And through keeping an open mind, we truly become free. So let us continue on that journey. Imagine that the wisdom of the universe, the things that are hidden, are the things that are knocking on the door. And the door is your mind. So when you open the door to the things that are hidden, all is revealed. So let us continue on this journey of seeking. Let the subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. That's it. That is it today, my friends. Thank you very much for being here throughout the week. Plenty of information and links available for you to check out. Please do. Please check out the stories from the Nag Hammadi. Check out the videos on the flat earth theories. Check out the other stories. They're all there. All the links are available. There's a lot to learn from. A lot of information to gather. But remember, it's not all in front of us. We have to seek for the things that are hidden. That's it. I'll be back next week. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks again for all of your support, for your emails, for your comments. Much appreciated. I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.